What I wanted to ask today was you brought to light the kind of problem with the studies with some of these major drugs. But it made me wonder a lot of the things we're listening to at this conference and what I'm grasping at, I guess, through doctors, some doctors at Harvard who are studying health, nutrition, longevity, functional medicine, everything else, are quoting all these studies, maybe not on, some on metformin, some on mainline drugs, but others on supplements and other things. And it made me wonder, are any of these studies that I hear that are quoted that seem to add legitimacy to either a food I'm going to eat or a vitamin I'm going to take or a lifestyle change I'm going to make? Is any of that true? Because I'm beginning to think none of it's true now.
I can't comment on that. I don't know the answer. Some of those studies are real world data, like the data showing that the COVID vaccination, the initial vaccination, reduces serious illness and death, even though we know that the drug companies are holding on to data and that we don't have all the data. We have real world data. So some of those studies are based on real world data. And I think to the extent that you trust the integrity of the researchers, you can trust that material. Do look at conflicts of interest. They don't, conflicts of interest are not always declared, but they often are, and they matter. People, I'm not saying that academic researchers will get swayed because they're getting paid to do research, but commercial entities hire academic researchers who tend to share their point of view, or they wouldn't be hiring that. They're not hiring me, I'll tell you that. So you have to kind of use your common sense and suss it out.
Makes sense. Thanks very much for that, Doctor. And up next, we have Ed. Ed, I am unmuting you and welcome.
Hi, thank you. Again, just like Deborah, I share a lot of her same feelings about this whole thing. I was skeptical. Now, just like in climate change, you have activist investors, pressuring, oil companies. It seems like this would be also applicable. And likewise, as far as politicians, everything comes down to policy, I think, the big things. Is there, people who are really deep in the pockets who we should work to, vote out of office?
That's an excellent point, Ed. And I forgot to include in the conclusion that if we're going to fix this, continuing on in the direction you're going, if we're going to fix this, the democratic power of the American people has to exceed the political power that the pharmaceutical and other vested healthcare interests are exerting on our politicians. Now, that's a pretty big ask, but I believe it could be done with a three-part coalition: healthcare providers demanding access to transparent clinical trial data and independent analysis of that data. In other words, health technology assessment. The non-healthcare related businesses and government that purchases healthcare are getting ripped off, and we're spending an extra $4,500 per person on our healthcare, and the employers are having to spend that to pay that, and for 2.5 family members per employee, that means they're spending more than $10,000 extra in healthcare in healthcare expenses, and it means they're not competitive. So the purchasers of healthcare should be part of this coalition. And then most important is the American people. 80+% think that the drug companies are charging too much and care more about money than they do about Americans' health. I don't know. Though it's a big task to get those three coalitions to work together to vote out, as you say, the legislators who are not interested in reforming American healthcare in a genuine way. Problem is that there's an enormous amount of drug company money. They make so much money that the money that they invest in their political influence is just a pittance to them, and their pockets are deep. And if the public does get back on, recover from being on its heels about American healthcare, the pharmaceutical industry will certainly up its game. So it's not simple. But 53% of drug company political contributions go to Republicans and 47% go to Democrats. And there are some very progressive Democrats that are taking money as well. And we've got to make it an issue that you can't take drug money and be a good legislator. The American people can't take it anymore. And that coalition is going to have to, the power of the coalition is going to have to exceed the power of the pharmaceutical industry in order to make progress. It's a simple equation.
Amen. And thank you for that. Let me go ahead and bring on Steve. Steve, go right ahead.
Hi, this is Steve. I'm the organizer of The Real Truth About Health. And I just wanted to call in to comment that in making the panels each night, I went through many books and I read a lot of books to get questions. And I did have a chance to completely read Sickening, the book that Dr. Abramson wrote. And I bought it on Kindle and I highlighted it. And I ended up highlighting almost every page. It was an impossible book to edit. There was no fluff. It was nothing but pure information and important information. Based on the importance of the topic, that 23% of the US economy is medical, and based that Dr. Abramson had an insider's point of view, I think this is one of the most important books that's ever been written. And it's impossible to be a healthy person in this world and a smart one if you don't have this information. So if you consider yourself intelligent or you want to participate in intelligent conversations, if you want to take care of your health, it's critical to read what he's saying. It's not hard to understand. I think this could be the most important book you've ever read in your life. I would encourage everyone to go to Amazon, buy 10 copies, read one for yourself, give them to anyone you love and any of your doctors. And I remember The Real Truth About Health has no financial arrangement with Dr. Abramson. We sell no products. We have no affiliate marketing. We have no advertisers. We have no sponsors. The only reason I am speaking now is because I couldn't feel more clear and more honest that this book needs to be shared all throughout the world and as fast as possible. And I don't know what else I could do. I don't know what else I could say. I don't know how to be more urgent, other than this is the only time in the entire conference that I'm calling in to say something like this. So although there's amazing books by amazing people, this one is on a topic that just doesn't seem to get enough coverage. So I really hope you will all go to Amazon or wherever you go, buy the book and buy 10 copies and give them out to people. So thank you again, Dr. Abramson.
Well, thank you for your kind words, and thank you for being able to participate in the conference.
So I'll go ahead and, okay, we're going to lower your hand, Steve. And of course, thanks to Steve for putting on the entire conference. And folks, when Steve tells you this is the most important book, you have to know, because I know this personally, Steve has read thousands of books, more books than we could possibly imagine. So a lot of weight in what he just said. I'm going to thank you again, Dr. Abramson, as well.